to Together We Can Cook. Today we are going to be making Turkish Delight. It is a dessert slash candy, and I wrote down some notes about its history. It's an old recipe that was said to be invented in 1777 in Istanbul, Turkey, and it became more known in the United States when C.S. Lewis published the book, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. In that book, the White Witch tries to win over the character Edmund by offering him Turkish Delight, which she knows he loves. So ever since my son read that book, he has been asking me to make Turkish Delight. So I figured this would be a great opportunity for a video to make it along with you guys step by step. I have never made this before, so we are going to do this together. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is take a big pot and we're going to put 3 cups of water. And next thing we're going to do is measure the sugar. I have my recipe right here. We need 4 cups of sugar. So let's get that going. My son is actually patiently waiting when he comes home from school today to taste this, so I want to get it going as quickly as possible. Hopefully it will be completely ready by the time he gets home today. Okay, so we have 1. This is 2. This is 3. And 4 cups of sugar. Okay, and the next thing that we are going to do, let me move this over, is we need lemon juice. This recipe calls for 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. So I have already washed this lemon, and I'm just going to squeeze it through this strainer here so that we don't get the seeds. And we'll see how much we get from this. So there's 1/2. Not a lot of juice in this lemon. I always tell you guys that when you go to the supermarket, try to see how heavy the lemons are when you're buying them. If they kind of feel heavy in your hand, then you know that lemon probably has a good amount of juice. If they're as light as a feather, they probably don't have much juice inside. Okay, let's see how much we got. We need 2 teaspoons. So I'm going to bring the pot back in. And let's see what we got here. 1 and 2. Okay, we got enough. And now the recipe says that we are going to heat this on the stove until it reaches 240 degrees. And then we are going to add, I guess, the rest of the ingredients. This recipe also calls for cornstarch, and you can either use something called rose water. I'm not too familiar with that ingredient, so I actually ordered, it says, or citrus oil. So I ordered lemon extract, and you can add food coloring. So we are going to make our Turkish Delight flavored like lemon, but supposedly you can flavor it whatever kind of extract you can find. The other day I actually saw orange extract. I know I have vanilla, but I've never seen Turkish Delight flavored vanilla. Usually it's fruit flavored. I know there is a mint extract, but we are going to try for lemon today, and we are going to use this candy thermometer so that we know that the temperature of this is reaching the correct amount. So let's go over to the stove and heat this up to 240 degrees, and then we will do next step. Okay, so I was rereading my recipe while this was boiling, and for some reason the recipe that I printed It's not the same recipe as the directions. So I've been doing some reading for the past couple minutes, and it looks like the printed version had too much water. So what I'm going to do, it had 1.5 cups too much water. I am going to add another 2 cups of sugar in here. We're going to have a huge batch. I'm going to add another 2 cups of sugar to counteract the extra water that we put in at the beginning that we shouldn't have. Because we need this to be a nice syrupy consistency, and it's not going to be if we don't have enough sugar. So it is up to less than 200 degrees right now while I've been reading. And I added another 2 cups of sugar. I am going to dissolve this all. It looks better already. We need this to become a syrup, and we need this to be 240 degrees. So I'm going to keep stirring and keep boiling. And while this is going, I'm going to work on the other pot over here. So let me put this down. So in this pot back here, we need to make like a cornstarch slurry that's going to go in here. So I have a brand new thing of cornstarch that I just got. And let me get a spoon. We are going to measure 1.25 cups of cornstarch. I don't know if you guys just saw that. It went everywhere. Okay, let's get this in here. Tiny bit more. I'm going to use my spoon now. I'm making a giant mess. Okay. So here's the 1 cup. It's even. Now we need a 1/4 cup more. So let me put this cup down. And we are going to get a 1/4 cup more of cornstarch. I'm going to put a little bit back in. Okay. Now that I've made a huge cornstarchy mess, I have the 1.25 cups of cornstarch in there. We need cream of tartar. So I have that right here. And we need 1 teaspoon. So let me stick this in. It's a little too high. Sometimes I try to use the side here to measure. The best one is the baking powder. It has like a little metal thing in there that makes everything easy to level off. Okay, so we need 3 cups of water to add to the cornstarch so we can make like a slurry out of it. So we're going to put the 3 cups of water in here. And I am going to take a spoon before I even put the heat on. And I'm going to try to mix this up a little bit, because once this water gets hot, you could have clumps of cornstarch if it's not already combined. And we don't really want lumpy candy. So I'm going to mix this up first while it's cold. Get this going. Maybe I'll show you guys. Looks like milk. See, it's nice and runny. There's no lumps. So I'm going to put this here. Let's check our temperature. We are still not even to 200 degrees on the pot with the sugar. Okay, this seems like it's ready that I can put this on. So I'm going to put this heat on and get this going. It's going to thicken up a little bit, but hopefully not solidify. Let's get this going. I'm going to get another spoon so that I can give, I need a good one. Okay. I'm going to give this a stir. It is looking syrupy. I don't know if you could see it. I don't know if I could see it on camera. It's not super thick. It's a little bit syrupy. I might raise my heat slightly. We need to bring this up. Okay, I'm looking at my ingredients here. So this was really 3 cups of water and 6 cups of sugar, because we added 2 more cups when I noticed. I don't know who made this recipe, but this is why I always try to test things and then I write it myself. I have 2 notebooks that I keep, like journal kind of notebooks, and I made all little tabs on it, like appetizers, meat dishes, salads. And when I test a recipe, I tweak it to how I like it, or if the recipe really maybe had an error in it, I fix it up how I know I want it, and then I record it in my little notebook. And then the next time I make it, I don't have weird things like this, that the person that published this online said one thing in the article and something else when you go to print the recipe. Okay, we are up to like 200 degrees here. It seems really hot. It is bubbling up. Okay, I'm going to put this spoon here. I'm going to go back over here to the cornstarch pot. It is definitely starting to thicken up. So I'm going to give it a good stir. We don't really want it lumpy. I'm going to stir this all around. Get this going. So we're watching 2 different things here at once. This one is taking a long time. If we remember, at about 1 o'clock on the nose, I checked before. So now it's 1:20. So it's probably been like 20 minutes that this is going here. Okay, it is still not getting up. I'm going to, oh, it's hot. Maybe I should get an oven mitt. I'm wondering if maybe my thermometer isn't down enough, so maybe I should get a mitt. I wonder if I could flick some of this over in the thermometer's direction. Doesn't look like it's raising. Oh no, it is raising. It is, okay. I think not enough of my thermometer was down in the pot. So I'm going to keep this flowing. It's up to like 220 degrees. And I'm going to continue to stir this cornstarch slurry. I'm going to turn it off. And I'm going to give it a good stir. Try to keep it as even as I possibly can, because I don't want a big blob of cornstarch here. Okay. Here it is. This is definitely done. Kind of looks like mashed potatoes. Okay, that's thick enough. So we're going to put this aside. And I'm going to take this and shoo it over by the thermometer. I'm going to angle it a little bit. I want to see how hot this really is. Yep, it's going out. Okay, this is hot enough. This is definitely hot enough. It just went up to about 250. So I am going to lower the heat here. I'm going to take the cornstarch mixture, which is very thick. I'm going to get this into the pot. And let's hope that this dissolves, because this is really thick. Okay, I got it all. All right, let's get this going. Maybe I can bring you guys closer. Okay, right here. I'm going to lower this a little so we can see. Okay, now we can see what's going on. Right there. Okay. So the heat is still on. You can see that it's totally separated. I'm going to take the thermometer out. We don't need it right now. It's totally like clumps and syrup. So what we need to do is get this evenly combined. Okay, I have like lowish heat right now. Looks like it's getting mixed. It's nice and bubbly. I was reading the article, which has way better directions than this printout that this person provided. And it looks like it could take up to an hour of stirring to get this to be like candy. So I'm going to keep going. I might pause you guys for a minute so I can go back to my phone and read. Once this is evenly combined, is the stirring on the heat or off the heat? Okay, so I put my camera right over the pot so you guys can see what's going on here. So what I'm doing is I'm taking these blobs of cornstarch and I'm like pushing them up against the pot. I don't know if you can see it. Let me put it this way. I'm pushing them up against the pot to break them up because we want this even. So once I see a little blob of cornstarch, I go like this and I try to break it up right up against the side of the pot. Now the recipe, the directions claim that this could take up to an hour. So I'm gonna write it down. It's about 1:30 right now. So I could be standing here for a very long time stirring this. I'm not going to keep you guys watching for an hour. So I'm going to stir. I'm going to pause you. And then I will come back. Okay. It has been 8 minutes. It kind of resembles applesauce. All the cornstarch blobs are actually dissolved, so that's good. I don't dare step away from this. You're supposed to constantly stir it for 40 minutes to 60 minutes. So it hasn't even been 10 minutes yet. But at least everything is evenly mixed. And according to the article, which I just reread, it is supposed to turn glossy, golden, and elastic-like. So I'm going to keep going. I have a little chair set up here next to the pot. I'm not going to really step away to do anything because after all this mess that I just made and all this work, I don't want anything to happen to this. Plus, I know that my son Noah is so looking forward to it. So I'm just going to have a seat and hang out here and keep stirring, and I will keep you guys updated. It's been 35 minutes since I've been stirring this constantly and cooking it on low. It is thicker than it was before. I'm going to pick it up so you can see. So now it kind of looks like applesauce, but it's way thicker. So I am making some progress. I'm going to keep stirring until it does what it's supposed to do. It has been exactly 1 hour since I began stirring this on low heat. You can see it is a golden color, like the article said. It does look elastic. I believe this is to the point where it's supposed to be. I turned off the heat. I am going to put some of this yellow food coloring. And this is lemon extract because this is going to be lemon flavored candy. Oh, it's not even open yet. Okay. All right, let's put 1 tablespoon of lemon extract. I'm gonna mix it. And oh, it smells so good. see how yellow it is, if I need more food coloring or if I put enough. Wow, it looks good. It smells good. This is pretty cool. I'm gonna put a little more. Okay, let's mix it up. I'm gonna use my other hand. Sorry if I'm blocking you guys. All right. This is pretty much ready to go into the pan that we had prepared with the parchment paper. I'm back in the dining room and I have the pan that we prepared together with the parchment paper. And I have my Turkish Delight Candy here. I am going to get it right into this pan before it even starts to solidify, because this is really sticky. I'm gonna try to let you guys see it. I'm gonna try to get everything out of the pot. Okay, I switched over to a rubber spatula. I'm gonna try to get everything out that I can. It is a very sticky thing here. I'm guessing if you don't get this out of here quick, it's gonna be a nightmare maybe to get out of the pot. Okay, I got it all out. I'm gonna put these on my oven mitts. I'm gonna get everything off the spoon that I can. See how sticky it is? I'm gonna take this around. Okay, here's what it looks like. It is very sticky. I am going to leave it here and go do something else for a little bit, and I'm gonna come back in about 6 to 8 hours. And we are going to try to cut this up together. It needs to be cut in cubes. And then we are going to make a half cornstarch and half powdered sugar mixture and coat all the little cubes. And then we are going to try it. It will be ready to eat. So I will be back in a little bit. It is several hours later and the Turkish Delight has cooled off. So I'm going to set it aside and make the coating. I'm going to put a 1/4 cup of cornstarch and about a 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. And I'm just going to mix it around a little bit. And now we are going to get this out of the pan and hope that it doesn't stick. So earlier we had put parchment paper. I'm going to just pick it up. Okay, quickly got it out. And let's see how we can cut this. This is a pastry scraper that I'm using. And I am going to try to cut this into cubes. And then we are going to dip each cube in the cornstarch and powdered sugar mixture. As you can see, it is really sticky. Okay, so I did 2 rows that I cut through. And now I'm gonna try to get cubes so that we can test it out in the powdered sugar. Okay. I am actually going to sprinkle some of this on top so that my hands don't stick to it. Let's try to get a piece off. Okay, I am going to try to flip this over. I put cornstarch and powdered sugar on the other side. And I'm going to try to peel this paper off so that we can get to our candy. I took off all the parchment paper. And what we're left here is just the candy. Nothing is stuck. Everything is coated with cornstarch and powdered sugar. I am going to go back to where I cut this before. Okay, so here are two of the pieces. This one I could probably make a little smaller. Okay, so here's what they look like. I don't know if you guys can see. I'm going to dip them in this mixture. Okay, so there's what they look like. And I'm going to just put them on the plate. Nothing will stick together once you put the powdered sugar. So I'm just going to keep cutting strips like this, and then I'm going to take my pastry scraper and make them into cubes. You can make them as big or small as you'd like. And then I'm going to take the cubes, stick them in the mixture, make sure all the sides are coated, and then put them on the plate. And I'm just going to keep going until I have the whole thing cut up. Once you get the paper off, it's pretty easy. The hardest part, I think, was getting the parchment paper off. So you'll probably need at least a half a cup of cornstarch and a half a cup of powdered sugar, because we used a lot of it trying to get this off the paper so that our hands wouldn't stick and that it wouldn't stick back to the paper once we initially peeled it off. And we're using about a quarter cup, of more of it right now. So a half cup total of each. And I'm gonna just keep cutting this, putting it into cubes, and dipping it back in that powdered sugar. At this point, it's perfectly cooled off. It has been about 4 hours. I put it in the refrigerator for about 30 or 40 minutes right at the end, just to help it along, because it was a little bit warm after about 3 hours, and I wanted to finish up. You don't want to leave it in there too long in the refrigerator, because you don't want to take it out and have it sweat and then be wet. And here are my cubes. Once they're coated like this, they should not be sticking. This would be a great holiday gift to give to friends, neighbors, family. This is a nice dessert to serve if you are hosting holidays or having a gathering. Okay, I am going to finish up and I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, I'm down to the last piece to cut up. I'm getting pretty quick with this. This is the end. My son and I actually ate a whole bunch As I was cutting it, he was eating some and I was eating some. It's definitely addicting. It's hard to describe the consistency. I want to say it's halfway in between gummy bears and Jell-O. Years ago, people used to make these Jell-O jigglers. They used to put a little bit less water, and you could cut them out with cookie cutters and pick them up with your fingers. So maybe a cross between gummy bears and Jell-O jigglers. But I just finished cutting everything up. We have a huge plate full. We're all set here. Here's how it turned out. It tastes absolutely amazing. This would be a really fun dessert to serve if you had company. I'm sure they would be impressed by this. It's a nice treat to send home with people after they visited, and also a gift that you could give to somebody around the holidays. So let me know if you guys try this. I'd love to hear from you.